Bum, ba ba da bum, bum, ba ba da bum, 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 ba dum, bum, bum, bum. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday mini medicine card readings. I am freshly back from a little R&R, and I think I need a nap to recover from my weekend. Got home just a little bit ago, and I was gonna take a shower and I was gonna take a nap, and I did neither of them, so please forgive me for the messiness of my hair, etc. It's camping clean. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and we are going to pull some cards. All right. Just going to wait a bit because so come on in. How this works is the first 6 people to say yes in the comments get a 1-card medicine card reading. And if anyone is watching this on repeat, then of course you can't be one of the first 6. Hi, Jennifer. Got you down. Awesome. Might be a slow night. It says you're the only one on here so far. And so if anyone is watching this on repeat, you know, obviously you can't be one of the first 6. So all you need to do then is to choose a number between 1 and 6. Hi, Anna. And listen to that card. And in fact, even if you do have a card reserved for you, listen to the other ones as well, because all of it, everything has messages for us, right? And so there might be something. What are you doing, Cat? My little house tiger. So where was I? So the first 6 people get a 1-card reading. If you're not one of the first 6, you're watching this on repeat, choose a number 1 through 6, and I promise that whatever is said for that card, even if it's not yours, Spirit has this beautiful way of interweaving our messages, and I promise there will be something there for you. So, and of course, this video is free. My only request is that you please share it. Help me expand my clientele, my exposure, and share this video if you can. Share it to your page, or you can even tag someone in the comments or something like that. But sharing is caring. And if you wish to give more than that, if you enjoy my work or you get something from tonight and you want to reciprocate, I do have my PayPal and my Venmo links pinned to the top of the comments, and I just so deeply appreciate anything that you give me, because this is my day job. So every little bit goes to supporting me and my work. And I am just so tickled when people, it's just, yeah, it touches me deeply when people are so generous and support me and what I do. Because it's kind of like I am my product. I am my business. It's like, so no frou-frou things, or it's just me. It's just little me, underdog. So so, well, it seems it may be kind of a slow night, which is fine. I know I posted late because I was on the road for 2 hours coming back from the cabin in the woods where I was all weekend. And so I didn't get the announcement posted in a very timely fashion. So let's just go for it and see what happens. So Jennifer, you are up first, card number 1. All right, Jennifer, the card that came up for you is Antelope, and it came up reversed. Antelope is kind of complex. Antelope is about sacrifice, but it's not... I'm always hesitant to use that word because it has such different things attached to it because of the whole Judeo-Christian thing, and sacrifice. You have to sacrifice for someone else. That you have to suffer for someone else's fulfillment, and all that whole martyrdom kind of thing. And that is not the sacrifice that we are talking about. What we are talking about is sacrificing, getting rid of anything that is keeping you from your path, anything that is distracting you. It could be little, it could be big. It could be just, watching too much Netflix, or, it can be addictions. It can be almost anything that can distract you. And the thing is, so it's not like I was raised Catholic, and so I'm very familiar with the whole idea of Lent. Like Lent, where we would, as kids, we'd give up candy for Lent, right? So for a whole month, we wouldn't eat candy. So we would sacrifice, and the whole point from the church's attitude is it's the suffering, because, Jesus suffered on the cross. So we have to suffer to make his suffering worthwhile, or something like that. It's like, no, let's not do that. The whole idea of sacrificing, so like in that instant, giving up candy as a kid, the point of it is to find out who you are without that little vice, without that distraction. And so it's not even things that are necessarily bad or counterproductive even. It's just kind of those habits and those patterns that we stick around, we hold on to because they're convenient. And there's not necessarily any harm. It's just kind of keeping us in place, keeping us from rising. It's like it draws from us enough energy that we don't have the energy to move forward. Okay? And so Antelope is about finding that energy to leap, right? And so it's like whatever those things are, sacrificing. The word sacrifice actually means to make sacred. And so to sacrifice is a sacred act, to give up something. And it's not like you don't have to give up anything that is essential to you, anything that's important to you. In fact, just the opposite. It's for the sake of what's most important to you that you need to sacrifice the other stuff. Does that make sense? Like, I was just thinking of Kyle Cease. If you don't know who that is, he's got tons of videos on YouTube, etc. And he was talking about, it's the excuse that we use to keep from moving forward that actually is the reason we need to move forward. For instance, that whole old way of thinking about saving the marriage for the sake of the children. And so you as parents are modeling this toxic relationship that doesn't work, but you're holding it together thinking that that's what the kids need. When if actually the two adults would actually own up to what their issues are and say, we just can't do this together, let's, split or whatever and be true to each other, how much of a better role model is that for kids, to be true to yourself and not true to these chains of society, to have to fit into these boxes, and so that your fulfillment isn't important, right? And so it's giving up. So like that, instead of, oh, I can't do this because of the children, yes, you need to do this because of the children. And so whatever those excuses are of moving forward, of leaping forward, it's time to let those go. And one of my favorite things in the world is to do fire ceremony, which is one of the most simple things, but it's one of the most profound things. And if you make a list of the things that, like I said, you're spending a lot of time and energy with friends who aren't reciprocal, if you're spending a lot of time and energy playing video games, if you're spending a lot of time and energy watching Netflix or whatever it is, realize how much, if you consolidated all that energy, how much more energy you would have and how much easier it would be to move forward, right? So, make a list of the things that you're ready to let go of, the things that that you are willing to give up for the sake of your own personal growth and well-being. And then have a candle and like a ceramic bowl or plate or something. And then, you can that list, you can cut them out individually. And then individually give them, light them from the candle and put them in the bowl or on the plate and allow the fire to take them from you. It's such a profound, it sounds so simple and hippy-dippy and all that kind of thing, but it is really profound. When you do it with your presence, when you do it, heartfelt, you will feel those energies leaving you with that fire. And that frees you up and frees you to, like I said, it's like, if you're in a job where you're constantly busy and, you've got too many things going on, you're having to pay attention to too many people, so your focus is diverted and dispersed and you don't have enough energy for yourself at the end. It's like, it's prioritizing yourself. And the thing is that whole idea that I mentioned before, that suffering for someone else's benefit, it doesn't work that way. That's the old duality thinking that in order for someone to rise, someone has to sink, right? It's like you have an equation and you have to make it. Hi, Carly. You want a card? And so if you take something from the left side of the equation, you have to add it to the right side. So one side depletes and the other side increases, right? All right, Carly, I got you down. But it's actually a non-zero sum. We are all connected. When we all do better, we all do better. And so to give up something for your own benefit is giving it up for the benefit of all beings. And that's a hard concept to get through to people. I was just talking to a friend about it today about, we get caught in this duality that, light and dark, good and bad. And it's all one. There is no separation. And so if you are suffering for the benefit of someone else, they are not really benefiting. It might look like it on the surface, but all you're doing is enabling them. And So nothing can be to your benefit and be to the detriment of someone else. If it is for your highest good, it is automatically for the highest good of everyone. So, since it looks like it's going to be a slow night, I'm going to tell you a story. There's a story that goes with antelope. That when the first peoples came across the Bering Strait into the Americas, of course it was the Ice Age, which is why there was that bridge, right? They came across in the Americas, but it was frozen. It was the Ice Age. They had no food. They didn't know what they could eat. Up to that point, according to the story, they were vegetarian. So everything they could eat was frozen. They couldn't shelter themselves. They couldn't feed themselves. And antelope saw their plight and leapt in and said, take my skin for your clothing, my fur for your clothing, for your shelters, take my meat to eat, take my bones for tools, etc. Because antelope knew that he was more than just the body. He could sacrifice that, and it would only benefit him to rise to another level. And then he knew he would be reborn into the herd the following spring. So he benefited from this as well. And so it's like, by giving up those things that are for your best interests is automatically for the best interest of everyone. Like they say, the tide raises all ships. It's not wonky. It's not topsy-turvy. So the message is to, like, just do some contemplation. Think about what it is. What is it that's holding you back? Like, what can you give up? You know, and like I was talking about earlier with that giving up candy for Lent, it's kind of like, whoa, I just spent a whole month without candy. How do I feel? Who am I without that? And so it's like giving up these things that we identify with, that helps, that we think defines us, but it really doesn't. Like for instance, I used to be, in college, I was a DJ at the college radio station, and I had so many albums, country music. I had my own country music show on the college alternative rock station. And I had enough albums to sustain a weekly 2-hour radio program. And so that was part of my identity. And it's like I had all these albums and I was collecting albums and I loved music. And after I graduated, I started moving and different things. And I started kind of paring down my record collection. And finally, I ended up, when I had no albums left, I had given them all up, but I was holding on to my record player. Hey, Amaral, would you like a card? There's still a few spots left. So I would give, I was like, I have my record player. I was like, oh my God, but I can't give it up because it was so tied into my identity as this, this DJ, all right, gotcha, Amaral. My identity was wrapped up in this music and being an expert on it. And so if I gave up my record player, I mean, I could always go get a record, but if I didn't have a record player to play them on, that was it, right? And so it took me the longest time to give up my record player. And I finally did. I realized, okay, and it was like this old, it was this record player stereo that I had gotten in the 80s from my parents or something. You are number 4. We're on number 1. And so like, oh my God, I can't get that up. I can't get that up. But then I realized it's like, I've got this big square metal thing sitting in my bedroom, taking up space that I wasn't using. So I finally like, okay, I'm going to let it go. So I took it to the secondhand store, came back, and there was this empty space. And it felt so freeing. And it's like, oh my God, because I was holding on to that one thing, it was keeping me from expanding who I knew myself to be. So by letting go of it, all of a sudden there were these new facets to myself that I didn't know existed because I was limiting myself by how I saw myself in that narrow frame, right? So just think to yourself what it is. Where are you putting your energy that, and like I said, it's not necessarily negative, but it's kind of like that old song about you got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. And if you're doing something and there's no payback from the energy, if the energy is just going out there, it's not necessarily draining you, it's not necessarily negative, but if it's not doing anything for you, then it's a negative. Then that's Mr. In Between, and you don't mess with Mr. In Between. If something is not actively supporting you and who you are, let it go. It's better to sacrifice that, and you'll be amazed at how much more space you have in yourself for yourself. Okay? I hope that helps. I hope that is helpful. All right, card number 2 for Anna. Card number 2 for Anna. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Jennifer. You're welcome. You're so welcome. Anna, you got butterfly in reverse. So, Anna, you are still in the chrysalis and the cocoon. What I'm feeling is that this isn't a negative thing. It's not like, oh crap, I'm still in the cocoon, I gotta fight my way out of it. It doesn't feel urgent, like there's this something that needs to happen, or like that there's something that you're not doing that you need to be doing. But it's more like allowing the process. Change and growth takes time. It's a cycle. It's there's progress, right? You can't jump from A to Z. You have to kind of go through, the accumulation of growth. As who knows, if you jumped out of the cocoon right now, maybe you'd be missing a leg or two, or one wing would be bigger than the other, or, it's like resting in the knowledge and the faith that everything is unfolding as it needs to. And that what you're going through is a natural process, right? Just like the butterfly in the cocoon. The butterfly doesn't decide when it's ready to come out. It knows. It's like it's in there, and all of a sudden one day it's like, it's time, right? And so it's a natural process. And so right now things might seem dark and uncertain, at least in certain areas, and that is because you're in that cocoon. And part of that darkness is because there's nothing for you to do right now. There's no path clear for you right now because stillness and resting is the action that's needed. Okay? So there's a little message of patience in this. And practicing presence, right? Nothing happens by accident, right? You're always in the right place at the right time. Whatever is in front of you is the path. And so no matter what's going on, it's like be present, because whatever is going on is the lesson. And sometimes just being present and being aware of it is the biggest lesson that you can get. And it's actually kind of similar to what I was just saying with antelope medicine, right? It's like giving up that need to be perfect or to get out of this as fast as you can or to know all the answers. It's like give that up and just be present and aware of what's going on, knowing that it is unfolding in perfect harmony, right? Like I use that analogy of like the tunnel of love thing, right? You get in the boat and you go into the dark, and then at different intervals there's lights flashing and things jumping out of the dark at you, or different things all meant to trigger you. But as long as you stay in the boat, none of that can harm you. And the boat has a certain speed and a certain trajectory that it follows. You don't even have to control the boat. You don't have to slow it down or speed it up or steer it. You're along for the ride. And so even though there might be things like leaping out of the dark or lights flashing or loud noises trying to scare you, know that those are the things that are just meant to trigger you, but there's nothing you can do. You are safe. Those things cannot harm you. If you stay on the boat, allow the boat to just go at its own trajectory, its own speed, that you will come through that tunnel back into the light, and then you will get out of the boat and go about your life, having the wisdom of this experience through the dark to carry with you, to help encourage you to be able to face other darknesses, right? It's like when I first, so I've talked before about this decade I had of extreme anxiety and panic attacks and such, right? And eventually I finally went on to some antidepressants. And I was really, really, I was really afraid to do that. I did everything I could to do the natural way, spiritually and emotionally. I was going to a counselor. I was doing ceremonies. I was doing cards and everything to help shore me up. And then I realized that there was a chemical thing, and so I had to address the imbalance chemically. And so I did go ahead and get antidepressants. And I had never been on anything before. And so the first time I took them, it was kind of like, I took them, I swallowed them, like, okay, I'm on the ride. I'm in the boat. There's nothing I can do now. I'm going through this tunnel. There is light on the other side. I don't know what's going to leap at me during the course of this, but I'm in the tunnel and there is nothing I can do. I'm just along for the ride. Just keep all your limbs and your head inside the boat. And it's kind of like that's where you are now. It's like you're in the boat. You can't get out of the boat. Everything you need is with you, right? You can't get out to get something else. If you forgot something, no, you didn't, because you've got everything you need. And just stay in the boat. And when the things happen that do trigger you or frighten you, it's like, again, be present if you're present, that is the majority of I don't want to say fixing, but of healing those triggers. If you're present enough to realize, oh, I'm being triggered, oh, that thing is leaping out of the dark at me, but you know that it can't harm you, you just took out a layer of what that trigger, you took at least a little bit of power back to yourself from whatever that trigger was. And so when those things happen, just to keep, I'm in the boat, I'm safe. I'm safe in my boat. Now I've got a Lyle Lovett song in my head. If I had a boat. Yes, Sage, hi. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's been an odd night. It's like people just kind of keep trickling in. So yes, I gotcha. So Anna, it's like there's no forcing it. You're in it for the ride. You're just riding along. And if you cut a cocoon open and let the butterfly out, the butterfly will die because either it's not fully formed yet, or actually in pushing through the threads of that cocoon, the butterfly has this fluid in its guts. And when it's pushing its way out of the cocoon, it forces that fluid up into its wings, which makes it able to fly. So if you let the butterfly out early, you're not doing it any favor. You're actually dooming it. And so you don't want to come out of the cocoon too soon. Again, trust the unfoldment. Your life is unfolding in perfect harmony, in perfect divine timing. And there's nothing you need to do right now but rest and surrender and stay present, okay? All right. Card number 3 for Carly. Oh, excuse me. Just got back from a relaxing weekend. I think I need a nap to recover from my relaxing weekend. That's why my hair's kind of a mess. Got back, it's like, I'm going to take a nap and I'm going to take a shower. And I didn't do either one. I always go on these, R&R type weekends, like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to rest up, I'm going to recharge. And I always come back more tired than I was when I went. I am, Valerie, thank you. I'm going to sleep well tonight. So if I look a little more tired than normal, and you can see my hair's, I'm camping clean. That's what I keep saying. I was camping over the weekend. I'm camping clean. All right, Carly, card number 3. All right. Carly, you got otter. Excuse me. Ugh. Otter is basically the presence of the divine feminine. Otter is everything that encompasses and that embodies that divine feminine: inclusion, love, community, fierceness, defense. And so it's a really good sign. And it's also about going with the flow, right? Be like water. Easy, Pete. I apologize. Probably should have taken that nap. if things are not feeling like this yet, know that it is coming, that there's going to be some time where things are starting to click into place. Things are going to start flowing. And there's a grace. You're going to find yourself handling things with a grace that you didn't know you had. And it's like the even the things that you may have found challenging in the past, like Otter, you're just gonna like bounce off of them and just shoom and flow. They're and even the things that used to be triggers or used to be challenging, they might still be a bit of a challenge. Like there might be that initial kind of thing, but once you get into it, it's like it's gonna be like a game, right? Everything Otter does is play. Everything becomes a game. They find a way of having fun no matter what they're doing. And so even those challenges or problems or whatever, even those will go a lot smoother. So there's a need of surrendering, right? And it's kind of like what Abraham Hicks talks about, how well, number one, there's only a source of well-being. There isn't a source of well-being and a source of not well-being, banging it out until the end of time. There's only one source, and the source of well-being, and that river flows in one direction toward well-being, right? And so everything you need is downstream. There's nothing, it's like, let's just talk about being in that boat. It's like, stow the oars and just allow the boat to take you downstream, because there is nothing upstream. There's nothing. We spend all this time, swimming against the waves and trying to row upstream because we think there's something in the past that we need. And it's like, no. Everything you need is within you, and everything you need you will find downstream, downriver. And so, again, that surrender, going with the flow, trusting the bounty of the river. I mean, the river is teeming with fish. The grass and the plant life on the side of the banks to roll in and play in, and stones to throw and to play with, and whatever else. It's like everything they find is a game, And the other thing that's coming up right now is that Einstein quote that I probably keep butchering every time I try to quote it. But it's that basically the greatest decision you'll ever make is whether you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one. Right? Otter is about inclusion. Otter does not recognize any natural enemies. Any creature they meet, they greet with open arms. Come on, let's play. Come on, come on. Until they're proven otherwise. And if a creature does come back in a different way, then that creature is no longer facing just a single little otter. It's like, boom, family, right? Inclusion. It's like, and so Otter lives in a friendly universe. And so whatever is, like I said earlier, whatever is in your path, whatever's in front of you is the path. And like, the universe is friendly. The universe has your back. The universe is not going to give you something. And it's like, I'm treading lightly here because it's very close to that whole, everything happens for a reason kind of thing, which in the sense, I mean, I believe that. I tend, instead of reason, I tend to substitute the word purpose. But instead of being that original kind of meaning of that is like, suck it up, everything happens for a reason. God is doing this for a reason. You have no idea what it is, but suck it up, right? This is more of, if things are happening, the universe is friendly. The universe knows actually better than you do what you are capable of. And so anything that comes at you, any obstacles, any challenges, you can trust the universe by its giving that to you, that you have what it takes to overcome it, to go beyond it, whatever it is, but that every challenge is a stepping stone to a higher awareness of yourself, a higher rate of wisdom, of experience. And there will not be anything that comes into your life that you cannot handle, right? And it's like, if you can look at it from that perspective, it's like the universe has so much faith in you. The universe knows who you came here to be. And so your path is going to be custom made with exactly the right challenges, and facing the right fears or the right inner demons, etc., to get you to become who you are meant to be. And the cards are stacked in your favor. So you can let go and trust. And if you don't know the answer to something, it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but it's like, okay, I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm going to align. I'm going to rest. I'm going to seek connection, knowing that, like Martha Beck once said something about, there is never a situation that doesn't get more benefit from being relaxed and ready rather than like tight and on guard, right? There's not a situation where it's not easier, smoother to get through something by being in alignment, trusting that whatever is needing to happen is going to happen, and that if there are tools needed, you will be given them. If there is help needed, you will be given it. You're not in this alone. Inclusion, right? If there's something that you need help with, boom, people are going to come out of the woodwork. People you don't even know. It's like someone will just show up. They'll have exactly the tool or the information you need, and then you may never see them again. So trust your path. Trust the flow. Nothing is happening by accident. If it's in your path, it is part of your awakening. And the universe will always use what's in front of you to bring you home. It doesn't matter what it is. Because whatever it is, on some level, is an illusion anyway. You are eternal. You have been here since before time began. You will be here after time has ended. There is nothing that can take you down. Physically, bodies can die, get sick, or whatever. But essentially, soul level, there is nothing that can harm you. Okay? You are greater than anything that will ever come against you. You are greater than anything that you can fear. Because you're guaranteed. You're guaranteed to succeed. You're guaranteed to come through, right? And one thing that I've started doing, a friend of mine was talking about this, what she does when she's going through a challenge, because time and space are an illusion, right? Everything is happening simultaneously. So that place beyond time where you will be after this life, you're already there. And so she'll call in her completed ascended self to help her with whatever this challenge is right here, knowing that her ascended self is so much bigger and stronger and greater than whatever this thing is. And so try that. Call in your ascended self to help you, to help, like what I think of it like throwing an anchor out to the future, you know, it's like Batman or Kim Possible, right? With the hook thing, shoots the hook thing out, and then it pulls them up. It's like you're sending that hook out to the future, to that future where you have ascended already, where you're beyond time and space, you're beyond pain, and you're sending that hook there, and then you're letting it go and allowing that line to draw you forward. Okay? Try that. Let me know how that works. All right, card number 4. Oofda, I am getting really tired. All right, card number 4 for Emerald. All right, Emerald, you got links in reverse. Card number 4, links in reverse. I don't always remember cards from the past, but I am pretty sure that links has come up for you before. I think I remember specifically talking to you about the whole idea of the hollow bone. You know, Lynx is the keeper of secrets. She can see, well, like cats are known for being able to see energy and other dimensions, etc., right? And so when Lynx looks at you, she doesn't just look at your physical self. She sees your energy. She knows everything about you without you even having to say anything. And so, in order to claim that power, that ability, she has to be able to see herself complete as well, right? She can't have any secrets in herself. Otherwise, her vision will be tainted by her own filters, by her own issues. They're going to color whatever is in front of her. She's going to end up projecting things onto someone else or onto situations and stuff. And so in reverse, it's not like a bad thing, but it's kind of like you're in the process. You're doing it. Otherwise, this wouldn't have come up, right? But the only reason it's in reverse is I think it's like looking for blind spots, right? We all have blind spots. We all have little beliefs or thought patterns that we just assume are real, are true. And because the universe, law of attraction, you get no proof outside of yourself that it's not true, as long as you hold on to those thoughts. And so this is about going in and doing a deeper level of questioning. Okay, is this really true? What do I really believe about that? And to really just like shining that flashlight into the darkness and see what's there. Again, like I was talking earlier with the butterfly, like being present, not going in with expectations or thinking, oh, there's that one thing and I gotta rip it out. It's like, no, it's about shining that light, seeing what is present. Oh, that thought form, I see where that came from. That was from my childhood. That doesn't do me any good anymore. I'm going to let that one go. Because I can see as an adult that these thoughts and beliefs I had as a child that I'm still holding on to, that there's such a bigger, wider perspective that no longer holds weight. And so I can free myself of that. I can clear that hollow bone and become even more clear, not only in myself, but in the sight that I offer others. You've been working at always being your most authentic self. Dissecting your shadows is fun for you. That's great. You're you're very rare. Not a lot of people like going into that darkness. But cats, well, technically cats are crepuscular, which means that they're more active during like the twilight times, like right around dawn and right around sunset. But cats see at night. Cats see in the dark, right? And so it's actually is kind of an interesting, instead of being a vicious circle like we talk about sometimes, it's more of a beneficial circle. It's like by doing that work, you're actually, by looking at those blind spots, you're actually improving the skill set to look at more blind spots, to dissect more shadows. Go deeper, go home. So keep at it. That's all it's saying, I think. It's like you're doing it. Just keep looking. You're not quite done yet. And I've talked before about how it's kind of like at first it's easy because we have all this stuff. Oh, that's right. Your main totem animal is Black Panther. Interesting. But we have all like when we first start on the spiritual path, and not that things are necessarily easy, but it's like, the first part of our spiritual path is relatively, it's like we've got things in our path that are obvious that we can pull out and get rid of. We can improve, but it's like having an old pot that you've been cooking in for years and there's a little bit of crud baked onto the edges. And so even though it's clean and it's not toxic necessarily, you can't see your reflection in it, right? And in order to be the keeper of secrets, to see all of that, you need to be able to see yourself. And so it's like you're in that final scrubbing, little elbow grease, right? Like scrubbing the pan until it shines. Not settling for, oh, that's good enough. It's like, no, you're, like you said, go deeper, go home. It's like you're in this for the end result. You're in this forever. And so it's like, it's getting down and dirty and you're like, scraping off the caked on parts until that pot or pan actually shines and you can see your reflection in it, right? And that's the thing that you're becoming, is you're becoming that mirror for others. And others are a mirror for you. And so the clearer you are, ironically, the more people may not like you because they're going to see more of their own crap reflected in you. And it's not that you are like that. It's just that you're this pristine, like surface of the water. Like then there's this Zen saying about how water reflects the geese flying over, but it doesn't hold on to that image. It's like the geese fly over and they're gone. They reflect in the water as long as they're over the water, and then they're gone. The water doesn't hold on to that image. And so it's like people coming up and looking at you, they will see their own projections on you even clearer, which a lot of times people aren't ready for. And so you're going to freak them the hell out. And people are going to be intimidated and probably avoid you. But that's all part of the path, because the other people who are also doing their work and clearing themselves are going to see that. It's going to be like, if you've ever been, oh, that's so interesting. I never thought of that. Like, I remember going, I don't remember what the place was. It was in Silver Dollar City, Missouri, I think. We went to this little, it was like this tiny amusement park. And they had this area where you walk through this hallway. And both walls were mirrors. And they had like Christmas lights along. And so, and under. And so it was like literally walking through space. Because, you know, when you've got two mirrors next to each other, you see infinity. And so I'm just getting chills. And so by clearing your own mirror and other people coming up that are clear as well, it's like, boom, you've got that view to eternity. Absolutely. Either smile or avoid you at all costs. And so, wow, I never put that together. All of a sudden, I was like, remembered that it was so cool. It was like walking through space. Is like the mirror on either side. It might have been mirrors on the floor as well. I'm not sure, but it was like walking on space, walking in space, and like all these stars, and it, you know, just went on forever. So, wow, that is really cool. Thank you. Thank you, Amaral, for being here and prompting that little insight. That's awesome. All right, card number 5, and our possibly last card of the evening. Card 5 for Sage. You're welcome, Emerald. All right. Sage. Card number 5 is Turtle. Turtle, turtle. First you're like, whoa. Then you're like, whoa. Then you're like, whoa. Take it easy. I know, right? It's like, but tonight, like, people just, like I said, trickled in. But, so you got, that was the first thing that popped into my head, was that scene from Nemo. It's kind of along the lines of what I was saying with Otter. It's like, just allow the flow to take you, right? And Turtle is about groundedness. It's about being comfortable in your own skin, being complete in yourself, right? Because Turtle, no matter where Turtle goes, she brings her home with her. In other words, she is home wherever she goes, right? And so that's what allows her to be able to, you know, live in different realms. She can be on land, she can be in the water. I know some of them, I don't know if it's considered hibernation or not, but like in the wintertime, there's turtles that will go down to the bottom of a lake or a pond and bury themselves, and they breathe so slowly that they're okay until springtime. So again, there's that self, I don't know if regulation is the right word, but it's definitely an adaptability, right? It's that having the appropriate responses to every circumstance, right? Or the knowledge and wisdom to know how to respond to something. Yes, pacing yourself, absolutely. There's no hurry, there's no race. You're not going to win something for getting there before anyone else. You're already there. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. You're definitely learning that lesson. And the thing is, by being yourself, you're automatically protected. By being present, you carry your protection with you. Oh, I heard you got sick. I'm sorry to hear that. So, like, the thing I love about turtle medicine, too, is the whole idea that when it's stormy on the top of the water, the turtle just drops down to a level underneath where it's still, doesn't engage, doesn't have to ride out the storm. It's like, oh, okay, let's just drop down to a place that I can find my stillness. And, in a way, if you think of that as, surrendering, like when the world is chaotic and the surface is stormy, it's like retreat deeper into yourself, because, there's a place within us that is perfectly still, that is divine, right? And so when the things are stormy out there, instead of engaging, trying to calm the storm or fix all the things, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going inward. I'm going to go deeper and wait for the storm to blow itself out, and then I will come back up. Because there's nobody you need to save, right? There's no one or nothing you need to fix. Again, everything you need is right there with you. I think it's interesting too. I talked about this before, about, you're a shaman when you're never an arm's length away from a turtle shell. There's 13, like on the turtle shell, there's like 13 plates in the middle part on every turtle shell, and there's 28 plates around the edge. And so there's this thing of time, of always being, the 13 moons of the year and the 28 days in a month. So there's this whole thing of being in perfect timing, being in the right place, the right time, always. Turtle shells go back to one of the first, well, I don't know if one of the first, but one of the most ancient forms of divination is they would take a turtle shell and they would put it in the fire, wait for it to crack, and then they would see where the cracks were, and they would read a fortune from those cracks by which plate it crossed or what it looked like, etc. And you being a reader, yourself, and having that oracular wisdom and stuff, it just feels so fitting that you already carry all the answers. You don't have to glean them from someplace else or get them from someone else. It's like you're carrying them with you all the time. And it's that wisdom that has consolidated around you to keep you safe, to keep you able to pursue that inner path, the softer path, the more meaty path, right? And so trust your path, trust your wisdom to know that everything you've experienced forms that protective shell, that by being who you are and having come through everything you've come through, that is your shell that keeps you safe and allows you to explore deeper things. So I think the crack in the turtle shells, I think that's related to the I Ching. I think that's where they got the I Ching. Like they created the I Ching from the cracks that would appear in turtle shells and stuff. So, yeah. I also keep thinking of Kung Fu Panda. I don't know if you've seen those movies. In fact, the fourth one is on Netflix now. I can't wait to see it. But the turtle that actually in the movie, the turtle that created Kung Fu, it's that kind of Taoist, just slow and yeah, take your time. Skadoosh. All right, so that is all the people that have requested a card for tonight, which is fine because I'm really tired and I'm ready to go to bed. But I'm going to pull one more card for the community. This is kind of like our community totem for the week. Whether you got an individual card or not tonight, this one is for you as well. And like I said, if you are watching this, you're so welcome, Sage. My honor. If you're watching this on repeat, choose a number between, 1 and 5, because that's all the cards we had tonight. Or maybe you can count this next one as card 6, but yeah. And when we're done here, I am going to share this to my Facebook page. I'm also going to upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So it is available if you forget what I said and you want to hear it again. It's available for you to watch again. On my YouTube channel, I've got like 5 years or something like that worth of these videos. So if you ever need any advice, any guidance, choose one at random and watch it, choose a card and see what it says. It's like this, there is no expiration date on these kind of things. So you will be drawn to the exact right video and the exact right card to get the advice that you need. I guarantee it. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to try to, coming up here now, I'm going to try to start having more of a presence on social media. I'm going to try to have more YouTube videos, etc. So subscribe and like my videos if you wouldn't mind. Hey Lily, we were just closing out. Do you want a card? I was just going to end it, but we only had 5 cards tonight. So I can do one more quick one for you. And no one can say anything about it because I'm doing the video. Haha. And Lily is one of my dearest friends. So, okay. It's your last night with Cake. I just got home, like, not very long ago. And so I saw your message. I haven't had a chance to message you back. Oh. I'm glad you get to spend, I'm glad you have a last night with Cake. I did talk to, everything is happening the way it needs to. Yeah, I will message you, and I will, and talk to you. I've been remembering you in my pipe ceremonies. I've been sending you love and healing. And if you need anything in the next couple of days or whatever, just ask. Okay? Dear Cake. Cake is her cat, for those who are watching. And I will, when we're done here, I will do some extra. I will do some meditation and connect with Cake and make sure everything is cool. So, okay. I love you, Lily. I'm so sorry. I know Cake has been with you for a really long time. So the card that came up for you is Owl. Card number 6. And Owl is about seeing in the dark, right? Owl has just as good of eyesight as Eagle does, but Owl sees at nighttime in the dark. And there's a reason Owl is the totem of Athena, right? The goddess of justice, because Owl helps her see through any of like sabotage or illusion or anything else. She sees through that darkness to the heart of the matter. So trust your heart. You've got this. No matter what happens, there will be grief, of course, but you have the eyes to find your way through it, okay? And there's a fierceness of spirit to you that I don't know that you've ever claimed or given yourself credit for. But it's kind of that unrelenting, that never giving up, right? It's like seeing what is possible and always going for that. And a lot of times you fly under the radar, right? Owl is also known as the bird of deception because they are the only bird that is silent in its flight. Its feathers have a softer edge rather than a harder edge like most bird feathers. And so when they're flying, you don't hear them. And so they zip in and they zip out. The mouse or the rabbit doesn't even know they're there until they're in the tail and it's taken off. And so know that you don't need to justify yourself or ask permission. It's like your heart is your authority. Whatever your heart tells you is absolute truth and is absolutely just. Okay? Trust that above everything else. The other interesting thing, I have helped a number of cats in their transition. And there's this strange connection between cats and owls. And it's my belief that a lot of cats were owls in past lives. In fact, I had one friend who had a cat that I helped. Well, when I say help them to transition, I don't mean I was there and I like injected anything, or I was there, I was doing like shamanic journeying to be with them in spirit and to make sure that their transition was smooth. And this one cat in particular, I had a friend whose cat was actually named Owl. And like, when I looked at her face, it was like, that was not a cat's face, that was an owl's face. Anyway, when she passed, it was like her wings spread, whoosh, and she flew off. It was like she was literally an owl spirit in a cat body. I don't know, I'm not sure that that's true for Cake or not, but I just find it an interesting connection. There's this interesting connection, dynamic between owls and cats that I don't really fully understand yet, but you're going to be okay. And she is going to be okay. I find in working, doing that kind of work, that, you know, the animals themselves, they're like, psh, whatever, right? Animals aren't as tied to their physical selves as we are. And so, like, especially when they're close to transitioning, they'll be in their body and then they'll be gone for a while. Then they'll be in their body for a while. Like, they're testing the waters. And when it's time to go, they just go. You know, even if they need that help, it's like they're not lingering. They're not holding on. They are and free. And so usually it's more the human aspect of it that I have to help with the transitioning. So, but Owl takes everything in whole. Owl, when it eats its prey, it eats everything, because its digestive system is such that it's able to sort out the nutritious stuff from the non-nutritious stuff. And then here's another connection. Just like cats coughing up a fur ball, owls cough up these, they call them owl pellets. And it's like these little pellets of fur and bone and parts of the animal that were non-digestible. So she doesn't have to decide what's good for her and what's not. She just takes it all in. And so no matter what the situation, you will be able to metabolize it, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a metaphor, but you weren't here earlier, but this has been kind of a theme tonight, that taking in just that which supports you, just focusing your energy, like calling your energy back from things that take you away from being yourself. And it's like you don't actually need to really worry about that, because everything that happens, you will get nourishment from it. You will grow from it. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It doesn't mean like, oh, woohoo, you know, but no matter what happens, you are going to come out better for it. You are going to come out stronger with more wisdom, a better sense of yourself, clearer eyesight to see through the dark, right? So I hope that's helpful. Ha! And it's just like, phew. What others are totally silent in their flight? Angels. She has her own angel. She has her own ancestors, her own family on the other side that are ready to help her come through it. So she is not alone. And you have angels with you. You have ancestors with you to help you in that process of just taking the parts that help you grow or improve and letting go of all the other stuff. Let me message you when we're done here. That does not surprise me. Like I was saying earlier, Lynx came up earlier. So we just had a cat a couple of cards ago, and I was talking about how cats can see other dimensions and see energy and stuff. And cats are so magical and so drawn to magic and energy and all of that. She's probably more aware of things than you are when you're doing that kind of stuff. So, but let me message you afterwards when we're done here and we can kind of chat and maybe be a little more personal and that kind of thing. So, but I'm glad you popped up. I'm glad you came on. I love you. I'm so grateful for you in my life. All right, so one more card. So we did have our 6th card. You're so welcome, Lily. One more card for the community. And like I said, when we're done here, I'm going to share this to my Facebook page. I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. That helps them get out to more people. Again, helps to expand my client base, or people that at least get, it increases the number of people who may benefit. So what else? And I do have, again, I've got my PayPal and Venmo pinned to the top of the comments if you got something from tonight and wish to reciprocate, or you enjoy my work and want to support your friendly neighborhood shaman. This is my day job, so every little bit helps. It all goes toward me and my path, my work. So thank you for your generosity. And seems like there was something else, but my brain is not quite, right? My brain is half asleep already. So we're just going to pull a card and that will be it. So this is our community card, our community totem for the week. Beautiful swan. I was just talking about angels, and to me, swan is the most angelic bird. Swan is about surrender. Swan is basically the story of the ugly duckling, right? The swan raised by ducks, and so they're bigger and more awkward and clumsier than the ducks, so they're always made fun of and blah blah blah. but their destiny. The ducks just become ducks. The ugly duckling becomes the swan because she surrenders to her path. She surrenders to all the experiences, and every experience brings her wisdom and grace until she's this pure, white, angelic bird. This is your destiny. And like a friend likes to say, what is it exactly? How does she put it? Let it go or get dragged. Or something. It's like trust that everything is happening at the pace it needs to happen, in the timing it needs to happen, that you have everything you need to handle whatever is happening right now. And in every moment after that, you will have everything. So it's that surrendering to the idea that there is purpose to your life, that there is purpose to life, that there is purpose to the universe, and that you're not here by accident. And you did come here for a purpose, and this is your destination. And so it's guaranteed, it's inevitable. And so to let go and trust the process of getting there, knowing that every step along the way has a gift for you, is a step forward. Like Fred, my upper world spirit teacher, tells me, it's like your spiritual pedometer, your spiritual pedometer does not have a reverse. Every step is a step forward. And so dance. Enjoy yourself. God, I could talk about this for hours, but you're already here. This is within you, right? And by walking our path and surrendering, this is what is revealed. We don't become this. It's revealed. And so we let go of everything that is not us, which is not an easy path. But if you know that this is where you're going, where you're ending up, it's easier to let go and trust the flow of that river, because no matter what happens, this is where you're going. And so everything else is adventure. One way or another, you will come through every challenge. There is nothing that can stand against you that can prevent you from becoming this. Okay? Oof. All right, my friends, thank you so very much. Thank you for joining me tonight. Always a pleasure. It's always a highlight of my night, of my week, of my night. Join me again next week. Again, please share this video. And Wednesday nights, of course, I do another video of the sacred pipe ceremony, if that sounds good to you. The peace pipe, the Chanupa, the Lakota sacred pipe ceremony. Basically just to hold space for an hour or so and allow you to connect to spirit. Yes, I need to go get some rest. Thank you, Sage. Thank you, Lily. You're welcome. My pleasure. And I will talk to you in a moment, Lily. So join me next week. Invite your friends. Have a wonderful week. And until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. Go shining, everybody. Bye.